You pouring wine there?
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Happy Hanukkah. What other holidays are there this time of year?
Kwanzaa.
Kwanzaa,
Christmas, Hanukkah, the big three.
Yeah. Now, I was driving over here and I was thinking about you because I know you don't really believe in holidays.
No. I don't believe in them.
Right.
I don't get a tree anymore.
Right.
And
did you put the kibosh on the tree? Because or would she have had a tree, your wife, every year?
We had a tree every year.
Right.
Tree, and I don't get a big menorah.
Right.
It's not like I don't believe in it.
But Hanukkah is kind of lame, right? Back when you were Jewish, you didn't like Hanukkah, right?
Well, number one, I'm still Jewish.
Oh, you are?
I'm not an ex-Jew. I didn't, shed my skin.
Oh, I got you.
But as a kid, are you kidding? You get 8 gifts, one every night. It was fantastic.
Okay, so you did get 1 gift a night, 8
Absolutely.
gifts. Wow.
Yeah.
So what were the 8 gifts? Do you remember? Like one night was undies, one night was socks, one night was like an afro comb, one night was a drum kit. Like, how did it work out?
That's exactly what happened. That one Hanukkah, I was 4 years old. And I walked in and I saw a drum kit, this little tiny blue drum kit set up in the living room of my grandparents' house.
Oh, wow.
And I walked in and I went, wow.
Really?
And my parents effed with me and they said, yeah, that's for your cousin Danny.
Oh.
And I started crying and said, no, it's for you, it's for you, it's for you. And that was
mean.
That and Ringo,
yeah,
seeing Hard Day's Night planted the seed for me to be a drummer. But I got my first kit for Hanukkah at 4 years old.
That's a great anecdote.
It's the truth.
What is Hanukkah? What are the
It's 8 nights. It's when they're celebrating 8 nights. God, thank you very much. I gotta be a Jew right now.
Just Wikipedia?
It's when they had enough oil back in the day they thought was going to last for a night to heat the room and light the room, and it lasted for 8 nights. And so it was a miracle, and that's why Hanukkah's 8 nights. And that's why you light the menorah, because it's a symbol of the oil lasting for 8 nights and heating up everything.
I mean, once my Jewish stepdad, Tom, a.k.a. Pops, came along when I was like 11, that's when I entered your family, and all of a sudden we had a menorah in our house. Mm-hmm. I thought it was great. I had no idea what it meant. I knew it had to do with 8 nights, and I knew we lit the candle 8 nights, and I loved lighting the candle. But like I just asked, I don't think to this day I knew what the significance was.
Right. I mean, you just kind of do the traditions without, a lot of people don't even know why they're doing this and they're doing that. And I'm not saying I know everything.
Right.
But it isn't also, as I've gotten older.
Right.
I'm not a practicing religious guy of anything.
Right. But Christmas is also kind of atmospheric. And like if your wife wanted to have the tree up, so what did you do? Did you just one year say, I don't think we're going to do the tree this year, get rid of all your ornaments?
She did.
She did it?
Yeah. I'm the one that would say, hey, you want to get a tree? And she said, no, I'm good. And then we haven't gotten a tree since.
So you don't like lights and knickknacks and Santa Claus. Well, we know your deal with Santa Claus. He thinks that the Coke company invented Santa Claus, and we got into a huge fight about it in wine country. The Coca-Cola company invented the version of Santa that Americans see. Okay. So that's great because
it was all marketing.
Right. So every Santa in the mall who's wearing red is a Coca-Cola Santa.
Pretty much.
FYI.
Pretty much.
But all right. But once she said, "Nah, I don't want the tree," and you're like, "Well, I'm not religious, so I'm not going to have a menorah around." So it's just like every year, these days, the month of December, it's just another month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, on Halloween,
I call all my friends and wish them happy holidays.
Oh, that's nice.
And we even send out
I do like your
we
card.
send out an end of the year card.
Right.
My voice is going.
Right.
End of the year card to say happy holidays and healthy new year.
Right.
And this is, maybe we take a card from one of the trips we've been on.
Sure.
And we say, peace.
Right.
Peace be with you, you sentient being.
I know you don't do egg hunts on Easter, but
no.
But you don't even put a pumpkin out for Halloween. Like, you don't do any of that. It's kind of crazy.
We don't do it anymore.
Right.
To say we've never done it, yes.
Right.
We did the pumpkin, we did the tree.
So it is
we have
safe to
lights.
say that you have completely lost all holiday spirit in your life.
No.
Is that not fair to say?
I just don't do a lot of symbolism. I have a spirit.
Oh, okay.
You know, I give gifts. I just gave you a gift.
You did. You gave me a beautiful bottle of wine. I didn't even look at it, but thank you so much.
You got to look at it. It might not even be a bottle of wine.
Oh. I mean, it wasn't a wine bag and it looked like wine.
It
but
did
it
look
might
like
be
wine.
a bottle of sparkling wine.
It could be anything.
Well, thank you very much.
It could be a can of, car lubricant.
Listen, Nicole, my wife, and I, we've let go of a lot of traditions just out of necessity. Like pre-plague, every Christmas Eve, we would go to Benihana, Japanese steakhouse, and we would sit there, and the chef would come and flip the shrimp tail in the air and the onion volcano and all that. We loved it. Get a couple Christmas cocktails. Then the plague hits, and the first year, 2020, oh, Lorenzo, it was so depressing. Nicole goes, well, obviously Benihana's closed, but they're still doing takeout. Well, okay, Benihana is in Encino, our Benihana. We live in North Hollywood. It's about a half hour to 40 minutes away, especially with traffic on Christmas Eve. I'm like, so you're telling me we're going to get Benihana takeout? Yes. So that's what we did. We ordered all the usual things we order. We drove all the way out to Encino. We picked it up. We brought it all the way back home. We plated it up, and it was awful.
Did you do a home volcano with the onion rings and
Nope.
burn your house down?
We said, well, because we've lost a lot of things since the plague. Like a lot of restaurants we loved went under.
Right.
A lot of traditions we loved went under. A lot of ideas and plans that we had tanked. So now, this year, where are we? 2022? So it's been 2 years since that. We didn't go last year. We ordered in pizza on Christmas Eve. And this time, Nicole goes, well, wait a second. Do you think maybe we should try to go to... And she couldn't even get the words out before she knew it was not going to happen. I am never going to Benihana again. I'm not, because the steam from everyone's face rivals the steam of the food being prepared. The fog coming out of everyone's fucking disease-ridden mouth and lungs is blanketing our food.
So to you, the pandemic has made Benihana's nothing but a blanket of filth.
Correct. The whole
fun of it is gone.
The fun.
The food is contaminated. The knives they're using are
Yeah.
basically lined with everyone's
Correct.
sweat and
Correct.
glum and
odor
and
sheen,
right.
Pores, and it's just awful. And Benihana, those Japanese steakhouses, you're sitting at a big table with
Right.
a lot of strangers. We've been stuck with some sketchy folks at our table, and I can't even imagine whether or not they're medicated, vaccinated, protecting themselves, protecting others. You just don't know. So we're out. We're not going anywhere. We're staying at home. We're going to go to the markets. We're going to fill up the fucking fridge. I'll be flipping the pancakes and cracking open the eggs. Nicole's going to make fondue. We'll probably order pizza again and lay low.
Albeit, that sounds really fun.
Yeah.
You could even invite me over for that.
You're not coming to that.
Oh, thanks.
You have your family in town.
But it saddens me that Benihana for you is a no-no. Because I grew up with it too, and it was always so fun and delicious. And the guy is flinging,
Right.
the shrimp into his hat. And,
it's the best.
And he would actually play. He would take the knives, almost play them like drumsticks, and going.
Listen,
it was always great.
I know.
I bet it's safe, man.
I'm not saying it's completely over, but it's close to being mostly over. Of course, it's safe for you because you go into nightclubs. I went into a theater the other night, dude. Sunday night, I was in a theater, the Ricardo Montalban Theater in Hollywood. And it was the first time since March of 2020 that I had been in a theater.
And who'd you see?
I saw The Empire Strips Back.
What is that?
It's a burlesque show with a Star Wars theme.
Was it good?
It was fabulous. It was a nice surprise from Brett's wife, Sarah. She bought the tickets, and 6 of us went, and I was like, we're doing this. I got to tell you, We were on the balcony, essentially, and we were pretty isolated from people. They were all wearing their masks in my party, but of course I had a couple of adult beverages going on. I lowered my mask in the steamy theater and took a couple of slugs of my beverage. I was proud of myself.
And you survived. Look at, you're here.
I'm still here.
Wow.
Cut to me testing positive for COVID tomorrow.
I hope not.
So
Speaking of testing positive, I got to get personal here.
Hit me.
Because you just got back from a family soiree.
Oh, Lord.
And we haven't talked about it.
Dude.
And you went back to see your family in Dallas, Texas. Where?
No, Lenexa, Kansas.
Oh, you went to Kansas.
Correct.
Oh, everybody met over there.
Yes.
Well, tell me about Kansas.
Okay. So,
how is the whole brood?
Well, I have to preface it with getting to Kansas. So the idea is every year I would go down to see my sister and her family, my nephews, her husband, and my mother, my stepdad, Ashley's besties, Sarah and Crystal, me. We all flew in, and we would just have a blowout weekend down in Dallas. So that usually happened every January. So I have not seen my stepfather since January, had not seen him since January of 2020, okay? So then, last year, 2021, if you can believe it, I got on a plane, I flew to Dallas, but it was more in like February because my mom and I had to relocate my grandma Patty, my mom's mom, to Lenexa, Kansas, where my mom and stepdad live, after her husband died, Gramps. So this year, I said, well, fuck. I was talking to Tom, a.k.a. Pops, my stepdad, and he goes, and I said to him, I said, what if I came out there for Thanksgiving? It just came out. And he goes, that's a great idea, I'll buy your ticket. That's how I do my stepdad. So I said, oh, you don't have to buy my ticket. He buys my ticket. He goes, guess what? You're flying out of Burbank. Oh my God, Burbank, that's great. I don't have to go to LAX. But Lorenzo, I never fly on holidays.
Never.
Not Thanksgiving or Christmas. Not ever. I said, wow, I really am going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to man up. I'm going to get some masks. If I have to wear the mask on the plane, I'll do it. But I'm going to go, and I'm going to go through the crowds and go through security. Dude, I had layovers each way. One was in Dallas on the way there, and one on the way back was in Phoenix. Layovers. I haven't had layovers since the 90s. So I said, all right, we're doing this. My sister catches wind. She goes, we're coming up too. So she came up with my nephews and her husband. Now, Crystal and Sarah, they already live out there. Because, that's where my sister grew up in Lenexa, because my parents decided they wanted to, my mom was born in Kansas. Her mother, Patty, Grandma Patty, was born in Kansas. Everyone's back in Kansas now. So my sister, who left LA when she was going into high school, they said, we want to raise her in the Midwest. So she went to K-State, and she was a Wildcat cheerleader, and she met all her friends there, and then she moved to Texas. So I don't know what that's about. The point is, we were all together. There were multiple houses, multiple events going on, multiple thises, multiple that is. On the flight out, I went completely deaf in my right ear. I land in Dallas, and I'm panicking. I am deaf from the American Airlines flight. It was so painful and so much pressure on my head. Now, mind you, in my early 20s, I had sinusitis so bad my whole life. I flew with Nicole from Florida. Around New Year's Eve, we flew back to LA, and my head exploded. Basically, I had no insurance. We got back to LA. Something was really wrong. I was having 30 toothaches. I couldn't see. My eyeball was popping out of my head, and my then girlfriend Nicole comes and finds me in the bathtub at like 3 a.m. running water over my head because I was in such pain, and I was thinking that the bathtub water would take the pain away, and it didn't. She goes, we have to get you to the ER. Like I said, didn't have insurance. So I said, call Dr. Epstein, my buddy Steve, who I grew up with. His dad's a doctor. He said, bring him in. Dude, I went in there. He surveyed me. He goes to Nicole, had you not brought him in, if you brought him in an hour later, he'd be dead. Wow. I almost died from pressure on a plane.
Why are you flying at all?
So you can imagine, because I've flown a lot since, and I've never had the problem again. I thought back then, God, I got to get tubes in my ears. I got to do something. I got to have decongestants. I haven't flown in a long, long time, so I didn't think about any of that. So by the time I got to Dallas this past Thanksgiving trip, boy, oh boy, it was bad. I couldn't hear out of my right ear at all. And I'm like, well, hopefully the popping will go away. So I'm texting my stepdad. He's like, hey, you got to get earplanes. You know what those are?
No.
They're little, rubber earplugs, but they screw in. And basically, it's sort of like preemptively plugging your head so you don't get worse head plug from a plane. Made no sense.
It makes no sense. How does the pressure get out?
Didn't work. You're supposed to put them in before you get on the plane, right? Mm-hmm. So you're basically deaf anyway because you got earplugs in your ears. Didn't work.
I am not doing that.
No, it didn't work, and I was fucked, and I was deaf in my right ear half the trip. It took forever for my ears to pop. When I flew home, I was like, all right, hopefully the earplanes will work this time and the pressure won't be as bad. It was worse, and I lost all hearing in my left ear.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the bookend of just getting and
just
going.
Getting everything in between was probably a living hell.
Yes. So I just want to turn the camera on for a second. So here is where things got really weird.
You fly to Kansas. You can only hear out of one side.
I'm staying at my folks' place. I'm hanging out with Pops. I'm hanging out with my mom.
Your sister.
My sister. I'm
your
seeing
nephews.
my nephews. Everyone's hungover. I arrive in chaos, and I loved it because I love my favorite Christmas movie of all time is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Have you at least seen that?
Yes, I have.
Holiday hater.
No,
That's
I love all the movies.
That's a funny movie.
It is a funny movie. I love it.
So I kind of wanted
because
that chaos.
I know you love entropy. If the holidays have
what's entropy?
It's the national. It's the natural state for things to fall apart. So if there is a holiday entropy, and it's slowly degrading and it's slowly going to shit,
right?
That is your happy place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to suffer an experience like that, but I will tell you this: it was extremely profound, Lorenzo, on Thanksgiving Day, to be sitting at a table, looking around. There were 14 people there. Mm-hmm. I'm sitting directly across from my 93-year-old grandmother at Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, my wife stayed behind and took care of Barney Fife and stuff, but I'm there. Everyone's passing around the stuffing and the potatoes, and Pops made a great turkey, and it was moist and delicious, and we're laughing, and there's pies and all kinds of shit. I was so busy taking in my surroundings and listening to people, I missed all the food. I didn't get any stuffing. I got barely one piece of turkey, and then I just wanted a piece of pumpkin pie, and that was clobbered by everyone.
So you love the death and destruction, but what made you happy is that you're living at that moment in a Norman Rockwell painting.
Correct.
And that made you happy.
I'm in Kansas.
So there is a little kernel.
Yes.
I'm looking at your torso right now. Down there, there is...
Ooh, he's looking at my torso.
I am. There's a little kernel of happiness, a little bit.
There was some comfort and joy.
With people that you love.
Even the fact that there was a fucking football game on the TV all goddamn day. And just, you smell the turkey, the football game's going, people are hungover. I wasn't hungover. But I'm drinking. My stepdad went out and bought a fire pit to try to recreate the fire pit experience we have when we go down to see my sister and her husband. So we're all sitting around a fire pit. You smell the wood burning. You got family. Grandma's inside watching Sebastian Maniscalco stand-up specials. It was a really incredible moment.
Wow.
And I got to tell you something.
And you got no food? They ate all the food before you came out of your
I was too
American
busy.
happiness coma?
American happiness coma. Yeah. I was just so in awe. I never thought it was going to happen again. I never thought I would be around these folks for Thanksgiving. And I really wish my wife was there. But here's what I did. I got to show you this photo. But I said, this is historic. First of all, my cousin Ben, extraordinary. He's my mom's brother, Steve, also lives in Kansas, and this is their son, him and his wife, Christine's son, Ben. What a great kid. He is such a smart, bright, dashing young man, and I'm like, I'm related to this guy? I just couldn't believe it, man. I was so full of good joy and tidings for just a few minutes. And I said, this event needs to be marked with a family photo. So I had to figure out how to jerry-rig with what I had, because I didn't bring a tripod or anything out there, because I didn't check a bag. I just backpack, small suitcase, get the fuck out there, no tripod. Let's get the whole family in the photo. Let's take a big snapshot. I'll direct it. Let's go. And it turned out great.
I saw that photo.
You did?
Yeah. Everyone looked happy.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, I'm not trying to be negative, but I know you.
Yeah.
After all that happiness, what happened?
Well, so here's the thing. I hadn't been to Kansas to see my folks' place since 2003. The place is great. My mom, she's crafty, arts, crafts, knickknacks. They got this hilarious new little tiny dog named Brody. He's a terrier. He was kind of in the middle of a training thing, so he's not really used to a lot of people. So there was some tensions with Brody, barking, biting. There was a little bit of an issue with the fact that, again, I hadn't been there since 2003, and I know that the basement was no longer of use, and I wasn't sure why. Well, as it turned out, I snuck down there, and I took a good look with my cousin Ben, and it's not in good shape, my man. And I had to think about the bigger picture here. What are my sister and I going to do if, either, God forbid, Mom passes away and Tom's left to fend, vice versa? What's the plan? Who's living with who? Who's going into a home and who isn't? Who's going to take care of this mess in the basement? My feeling is light a match, walk away, and my sister's like, no, estate sale. So it was actually on Thanksgiving night
That you're talking about
that I'm talking about
death and
yes.
what are we going to do?
So what you're saying is exactly predicted, because after dinner, we're sitting around the fire, and my sister and I are like, what is going to happen? Do they have a will? Is there a plan? So it was a little uncertain. And it still is, but I'm now having to think about that stuff. As I'm sure you are. Your dad is in his 80s.
Yeah.
But the good news is you have your sister out there in Vegas.
She's living with him.
And she can really get in there and help, and she's living with them and stuff like that.
Thank God for my sister.
Thank God for Robin, but still, you do have to deal with something sooner or later, I'm sure. Not just the loss, but like figuring out all the after things.
All the after things.
Of your parents' lives.
It's true.
Including your folks here in town.
Yeah.
Your mom and stepdad.
I have 2 sets.
Right.
And no one's getting any younger.
Right.
And what's going to happen with this and what's going to happen with that. And, there's obviously some money. And is anyone going to fight over it and sue each other and hate each other?
Correct.
And,
it's sad and ugly and a little scary. I'm kind of dreading, what's coming. And
all of that is coming.
All of that is coming. And
you got to work it out now. Especially the thing is, it's just you and your sister, just like it's just me and my sister. So what really helps is you have to have a conversation with her and saying, let's not bicker.
Right.
We know that there's all this stuff.
Yeah.
And let's just work it out. So when it happens, you guys are cool. You guys can have an agreement, an understanding.
Yeah.
And because what's worse is that they're going to be gone. You guys still have to live.
Right.
And, you don't want a rift and you don't want anything
well, I got to tell you,
between you guys.
You know what's really crazy?
Because that happens.
I know. My sister and I, we don't fight. We never fought. First of all, I was 15 when she came into my life, and I thought right away, oh, she's going to come in, this beautiful baby, and destroy everything. I'm not going to have my mom anymore. And to a degree that happened, but I fell in love with her. And I changed her diapers, and I was there in the beginning, and I was there babysitting her and stuff like that. So I've always kind of looked at her as, partially my sister and partially, not my daughter, but this little being that I helped come to fruition. We don't fight ever. I mean, there's been a little sarcastic jabs here and there, but I think we work very, very well together, her and I.
You're a team.
We are kind of a team.
That's great.
And we definitely have some good laughs behind our folks' backs, about the nonsense that goes on between them.
You guys can be allies.
Allies
in the family.
I just wish I lived closer to her, but that is a good point. So no, I think we're going to be okay.
Good.
When it comes to what's going to happen with mom and pops down the road.
Okay, well that's good.
I'm confident that we will. It will be fair, and yes, we will work very well together.
Well, safe to say, obviously you're here, and we're doing this recording. So you survived your family.
Yes.
You survived whatever filth and germs and bacteria that group of people had in the house that you were staying with. You didn't get sick.
Well, no, I eventually got sick when I got home.
You think that was because of them?
Oh, yes.
So they did make you sick.
Oh, yes. Well, that it wasn't just there. So this was actually the highlight. So the day after Thanksgiving, we went downtown. I took everyone to lunch. We went on the Kansas City mob tour. I got to see Sarah and Crystal. Sarah and Crystal are magnificent.
They're friends
women.
of the family.
Friends of the family. My parents have known them since they were little girls. You know, they're my sister's best friends. I'm super close with them. So Crystal's husband, let's just say he is a very, very successful plastic surgeon. And all these years, I've never met the dude. So Saturday night after Thanksgiving, I was invited over to Crystal's new house. And I got to meet the plastic surgeon, Lorenzo. There were so many kids in that house running around because Crystal has kids. Ashley's got, my nephews, her sons. Then there were kid friends. Kids, I was warned sufficiently. You are going to get sick because kids are filled with germs. They're crawling all over me. I'm having fun with them. There's wrestling. There's laughing. There's sneezing. There's...
Uncle Max is here, and
there's nudity. Kids run around naked. I forgot.
Oh,
they don't
care.
I haven't been around naked children since I changed my sister's diaper or put her in the tub. I'm not used to naked kids running around and sticking their little assholes.
And are they crawling on you all naked? And
well, no, that didn't.
Okay. Because that gets kind of now.
That I wouldn't have.
Right.
If any kid came at me naked, I would.
You're running. You should.
I'd kick it. No, so once the kids were settled down, it was adult time. And just understand that this doctor friend is extremely successful, and he owns his own school. And I follow the school on Instagram. And do you know that the main organ, if you call it, is a human head an organ?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, a human head is what the students...
practice on. Yeah, a real cadaver head.
A severed human head. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, what else are they going to practice on?
Well, I don't know. And because it's tastefully done and because there's a lot of rules, the heads are blurred out in these photographs. So for years, I was like, I got to see the heads. I got to see the heads. Well, you'll see the heads on our laptop someday under supervision. I can't just show you a head. It's disrespectful. Anyway, I got to see a head. Not a real head, but I got to see a photo of one, and it was fascinating. They sew the lips shut with like 3 sutures, right? And then sometimes their eyes are open, but the eyeballs are still in the skull.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Creepy.
Yeah, and did you know the intricacies of the face are fucking mind-blowing, dude? There's so many levels and layers. So this doctor dude created this award-winning video. I shit you not. We're hanging out in his at-home humidor room and lounge, smoking the finest cigars, drinking the dandiest of bourbons. I'm on the laptop with him, and he is showing me a video of him that he shot against a green screen with a whole team. He is shrunken down to the size of a little teeny tiny guy, and he actually walks inside of a real human head and takes you on a journey.
That's very cool. That sounds like I'm sensing your next short film is going to be inspired by this.
It was inappropriate to bust out wood down below, but I did. I was like not turned on, but I'm like, this is amazing.
No, this is your wheelhouse. Totally.
This is my wheelhouse. I mean, it's genuinely horrific, but dude, I got to tell you, I mean, since I was a kid, my mom was a nurse, right? I feel bad I'm doing all the jibber jabbering, but she had a book called Anomalies and Curiosities of Medicine, okay? And it was all about deformities and the elephant man and missing limbs and cleft palates. So, this doctor, when he was in his residency, he was traveling around the world to impoverished countries with dirt floors, fixing children's cleft palates.
That is very cool.
And this is something
That's a cool thing to do.
Oh, yes. And this is something that needs to be done when they're 6 weeks old, not 6 years old. But because they didn't have access to medicine and proper care and surgeries, he was fixing 6-year-old kids with cleft palates. And he's showing me pictures from these experiences. I don't think he ever had this, and he told me he never did. I bursted into tears.
Oh, wow. Well, you're a sensitive guy.
I am. I was so moved by his work. I was moved by his vision. I was moved by his generosity and his kindness. And I got to tell you, the experience I had that night with that man surrounded by, it was great because like all the folks stayed home. So it was just like the kids are at play now. And, I'm 15, 20 years older than all these people, but I'm still one of the cool kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just really great to just interview him and talk to him and meet my friend Sarah's husband, Conrad, who I'd never met before, get to know him a little bit. And like I said, they're all in their mid-30s, these guys, right? And inside the Humidor Lounge was this beautiful illustration of all the Bonds. Okay, all the James Bonds.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. So with the cigar, with the bourbon, I sat there with Conrad and the doc, and we went through all of our favorite Bonds. And I guessed it because it's a generational thing. Can you guess what their Bond is? If they're 35 now and their Bond was in the 90s, who do you think their Bond was?
It's going to be Daniel Craig.
It's Piers.
Is it really?
Oh, yes.
Because he was the guy that did it the least.
I know.
He only did like 2 films.
No,
3 films?
that would have been Timothy Dalton. I think Piers did 4, maybe.
Oh, did he do 4? Okay.
Yeah. Of course, mine was Roger Moore, right? The goofiest. But now mine's Dan Craig. But it was really interesting to see, like, oh, of course, when you were at this ripe young man age and you're starting to get out there and drink and fuck and everything else, and you're watching your Bond movie, you're going to emulate your Bond,
right,
which was Piers for them.
Right.
Both of them. I thought that was so funny.
By the way, it's Sean.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because you're a fogey.
No, it's Sean for everybody. Trust me.
For everybody?
Yeah, it's got to be Sean.
Well, listen, he probably shouldn't even be in the category because he is the original.
He was the best.
Daniel,
Roger Moore is a very close second.
Daniel
though.
Craig is
he's good
phenomenal.
He's the third one. He's a good.
What about George Lazenby? No respect for him?
Not a lot.
Anyhow,
I got to ask this. You're with all these people around this successful plastic surgeon.
Uh-huh.
Is everybody a little nip-tucked around him? Has he done everybody? Is his wife completely nip-tucked, even though she might be beautiful? But
she's fucking stunning. Yes. I mean, that definitely is apparent.
Yeah.
They're getting the good work. But hey, listen, I get Botox.
Did he offer to do you?
Well,
do you look at you and go, "Hey, great to see you, great to meet you. I could do that, and I could do your eyes."
I'm sure. I wish we would have gotten to that conversation because it would have taken him 8 hours to say how we can fix your looks. But no, I actually asked him, "Hey, I'm kind of looking for a new Botox person in LA," and he's like, "Oh, I'll get my girl on it right away." And I mean, he's very influential in the world.
Now, this is news to me.
Yeah,
you do Botox?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I had no idea. Eyes? For what?
Well, I do have bad crow's feet. So
yeah.
Okay, hold on. I want to record this actually. Are you surprised that I have ventured into getting some Botox?
I'm very surprised. I had no idea. Number one, you're not on camera a lot, so the fact that you might have some
I'm
crow's
on camera all the time. You just don't see me. By the way, for those of you who actually listen to this show, I'm on Instagram only now. So if there's any social media platform you're looking for Max Koch, it's Instagram only, period. Off Twitter, obviously, Facebook done. I make videos all the time on Instagram, dude. So I definitely am on camera. I may not be in movies right now or TV shows, but I'm always on camera, right? And there is a lobotomy scar, I call it, that goes across my forehead.
But there's an app for that.
That I hate. I ain't putting on no app.
You rather get a shot in your face?
I ain't gonna put no phony fucking filter on my face, dude.
So you're shooting up Botox in your skull.
Chemicals into my forehead that take away, and then
how long does it last? By the way,
between my eyes, I've got these deep creases.
Let me see.
That look like I just got a little treatment, so you won't see them.
Because it looks pretty good. I see something. I see some divots, but
there's divots and dents and all kinds of horrible shit. and then I got the crow's feet and the scrag and the no Botox, baby. I
Okay.
love it. I endorse it. People say, how can you put that shit into your body? I don't give a fuck. Give me all the vaccines. Give me all the chemicals. Give me all the thises and the that's. I just want to not have that crease. It looks like someone gave me a lobotomy. That's how bad the crease is in my forehead.
How long does it last? You get a shot and the crease goes away for a month?
No. It lasts a good 7-8 months to a year. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, honestly, you come in, sometimes you're wearing a skull cap like you are right now. I have never noticed the crease. I've never noticed a lobotomy crease in your face.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think you're looking at me like that.
I'm not.
But I notice and I fucking hate it.
Okay.
I need all the help I can get
Right.
considering my looks. Yeah.
Well-
I mean, I ain't dyeing my hair. You know, it's so funny. I when I was getting a treatment the other day for the Botox, Nicole and I go in together, and we talked to this new gal, and she was really sweet. And I said, "Let me ask you something. You know, a lot of people as they age, they kind of get the Botox to kind of smooth out the thicker lines. Do you think I should dye my hair?" And she's like, "No, don't dye your hair." I'm like, because I see so many guys. We were watching a Duran Duran concert last night that we rented that was just here in Hollywood called A Hollywood High. It's on the Veep app, right? Duran Duran performed on a roof across the street from the Capitol Records building, okay?
Oh, cool.
Simon, brown hair. John Taylor, brown hair, clearly dyed. Roger Taylor. Nick, of course, Nick Rhodes, completely white hair because he's a vampire and he doesn't give a shit. I say to Nicole, see, those guys look good and their hair is dyed. And my wife actually said, and she's a total Duranie, their hair isn't dyed. Dude, Simon Le Bon is like 30 years older than me. So how is it that he doesn't have gray/white hair?
Of course
It's
they
impossible.
do.
Yeah. But no one's allowing me to dye my hair because it'll look terrible.
It depends if you want to look, if you're on camera, besides Instagram, if you're in public,
Right.
And show business the way it is, nobody wants to see normally people getting old.
Right.
It's a young person's game.
Right.
So
Right.
there's a lot of pressure to do whatever you can to not.
I mean, they're still making, come on. I discovered a new show in, oh my God, it's so good. I can't believe he's almost, 80? Sly Stallone and Tulsa King. Have you seen that?
I heard it's really good.
Dude, it's so great. I was watching that with my folks, right? He's looking pretty good. I mean, and, you got Jeff Bridges as the old man. You got Book Club 2 with Diane Keaton, Candice Bergen, and God knows who. Old people are still wanted.
They are. And also, if you are also an actor and you're
Plus,
playing...
I'm a character actor.
If you're playing an old person, you don't want to dye your hair and
Right.
look young because
Right.
you want to be more natural.
Right.
But again, if Diane Keaton's trying to play a 30-year-old,
Right.
Which is kind of stupid, but if they casted her, she's going to dye her hair.
No, they'd have to do that digital shit like
Yeah.
they did in The Irishman,
Yeah, or they're going to do with Harrison Ford,
But yeah. Oh, here's one more thing I wanted to tell you about. Do you have an air fryer?
I do, actually.
Okay. So I've been given the gift of an air fryer multiple times over the course of the past 15 years, right? And they scare me. I'm like, I don't want to know that. I usually either give it to Goodwill or I pass it on
You
to
just
someone
turn
else.
a button and it cooks.
Dude, I've been afraid of them. I've been avoiding them. I can't do air fryers. I'm in Kansas and my stepdad is in that kitchen, boy, and there's something staring at me in the corner that doesn't look like anything I've ever seen. It looked like a droid out of Star Wars. I said, what is that? Oh, it's my air fryer. I said, will you teach me how to use the air fryer? We made chicken wings. And Lorenzo, I have seen the light. I have cooked 4 times since I got back from Thanksgiving. In the
They're
air fryer.
great.
Amazing.
You don't have to use oil.
Nope.
It's clean.
Nope.
You don't have splatter
Nope.
and spitter.
Fip.
And it's healthy.
Heap.
And there's no downside.
No downside. Nicole got a Christmas gift from one of the brokers she works with. They sent a big box of a lobster gram. Have you ever heard of this?
No.
Inside was a chocolate lava cake on ice, clam chowder, 2 lobster legs, and 2 filet mignons.
Wow.
And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, well, I don't really do lobster, and I don't really know how to prepare lobster, so I ran those legs straight downstairs or those lobster tails straight downstairs to Becca with a bottle of wine.
Your neighbor.
Who was on our show.
Yes.
Yes. And you have that, and I said, I wonder if you can cook filet mignon in The air fryer.
Of course you can.
Of course you can, dude. It was delicious.
It's easy.
It was like getting it at a restaurant.
It is one of the best inventions.
So I'm late to the game, but
Great for frozen foods.
yeah.
So good.
And just to clarify, and just to kind of wrap up here, and I appreciate you doing mostly all the listening, but this is only our 4th show in a year. So it just doesn't really work out for us to do more shows because, I'm busy, but you're the guy who's like, no, I am at the Aokigahara forest for 3 months, so I am not able to do. The fact that we get one show out a quarter, it's not bad. It's
not terrible.
It's not terrible, but it ain't going to get us, it ain't going to put us in any sort of upper echelons of podcasting.
But
However,
do you want to? Is that a desire?
I don't know. I mean, it's something we got to talk about down the road.
Do you want this to be amped up?
No, it was just really...
I would.
Well, then I would too, because I really enjoy it. But also, I was really excited because we were supposed to do this last week, and
you got sick, and
I had bronchitis. Basically, all the shit that was in my head from Kansas turned into bronchitis, and it was really weird. But then we rescheduled, and I'm like, I am not, because I woke up today like, oh God, I got to do this and that and that. I'm like, ain't no way I'm canceling. I want to come down here. I want to get one more in the can, and then we can look towards the future. But I got to say, this has been the fastest year of my life. I don't know how you feel.
Oh, the same.
I can't believe how fast 2022.
I just think that everybody, including us, obviously, were in a pandemic fog. Yes. I don't even think we even realized the year was going by.
Correct.
We were so caught up in trying to get over something
100%.
That we weren't really living.
Right.
We weren't realizing the time is just going by.
That's correct.
And by the time, right now, today, this is the end of 2022.
Yes.
Going into 2023.
Yes.
And I think things are getting better. And we're coming out of our fog, and we're like, where did that last a year ago?
Lorenzo.
But we can look forward to a nice 2023.
I feel like, yes. I feel like I might actually start to be coming out of the plague fog, the pandemic lockdown sensibility. As much as I'm still a recluse, I do feel oddly hopeful for this new year, and I feel ready to really do something different.
I think you should latch on to that.
I think
Don't let that go.
I'm not going to let it go.
Maybe this podcast can be a glimmer of hope for Max Koch.
Let's not get crazy. But, no, that'd be great. But I am finally determined, have to do it, prioritizing, locking down, not COVID locking down, artistically locking down, and I'm going to draw a book.
Wow.
And normally I wouldn't be talking about it because what if I don't draw a book? I have to draw a book.
Set it in motion.
So badly. I have to get this thing out of me that's been inside me my whole life so badly, at least the first book. Hopefully by year's end next year, I'm going to make it my nearly full-time job.
That's fantastic. A graphic novel?
It's a sort of a graphic memoir, but I've already outlined it. I've already begun the process. It's a little strange, the directions. It's gone one way, and then it went kind of another way. But the point is, the fact that I'm even drawing again. Dude, I've barely drawn a doodle since 2020.
That's what you do.
I stopped drawing.
You have to get back to that because that's in your soul. You know what I miss? I miss your drawings of artists that we love that pass away.
Yeah.
And you always do a fantastic drawing of it.
Yeah.
You stopped doing that.
I did. I know. Just stopped.
You got to get back to it. Because that's a big layer of creativity for you. And like anything, I think the pandemic taught us you just have to do what makes you happy. No matter what it is, just do it.
Do it.
I think we all stopped doing what made us happy.
That's right. So anyone out there listening, do what makes you happy. Embrace this new year and try to make the most of each and every day. This is me talking.
Wow. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Robbins.
Boy,
who am I talking to?
Oh, yes.
Are you the new Max Koch?
Yes, of course. So
Is this the Botox talking?
all I need is $395.99, and I'll show you how to get back on the road to success.
Well, getting back on the road.
Yeah.
But Max,
Yes.
we are in middle of December,
Yes.
2022.
Yes.
This is the last one of the year.
Yes.
We're drinking wine.
Yes.
I am going to toast you. Very, very happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, buddy.
And great to see you.
You too, pal.
And you survived your family. And this is unexpected. I'm getting a very hopeful, kind of a cheery Max Koch today.
Dare I
which
say?
I accept it. I accept it. And I love it. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And to everyone listening.
To everyone listening.
Do you have any final thoughts for this year? Anything to say to wrap up 2022?
There is no such thing as the past. It's only forward from here on out.
I accept that. Looking forward to everybody. Very happy New Year. Happy 2023 to everyone listening.
All right, that's enough.
And a hopeful Max Koch. Hopefully it will continue.
All right,
And
you're killing me now. Bye, everybody.
Everybody, stay safe. Thanks for listening.